Hello, my student again. I think you know that with the circumstances in our country and we stopped teaching. Uh, I hope that you will appreciate the work that we did, and I hope that you. I hope that you know the circumstances that we have in our country and all around the world that we couldn't attend, and I'm sorry that I couldn't explain all the book. So let's go to page 75 to study about how to have successful application letter when you have inshallah in the future you will have a job. So how you could own this job or win the chance that you will take this job. So you are in need to have a good CV, and before that you have to have a good covering letter or job application. As you know that you can write a letter, we can call it in our country covering letter, to explain for the employer the reason that you apply for this job, and you have to explain how much you are eager to own this job. Also, what happened, I will give you an experience that I have got it when I applied for a job. What I have to write in my covering letter, I have to write an excuse, and sometimes I have to justify the reason that I chose this job, and I have to convince. So it's like a marketing, what I have mentioned before, a marketing sales letter. And also here you can market yourself. You are, imagine that you are a product, and the employer, al-muwaddif, and the employee, you are going to be an employee, the employer or the owner of the company. So you have to persuade him and convince him that you are an excellent one and you are suitable for this job. So you have to market yourself. What you have to, it means here to market yourself, to tell him that you are suitable for this place. How you could explain to him? You say, I have heard about this job in Google or in Yemen HR or in an advertisement in a newspaper. So you have to tell him that where did you find this chance, and you hope that you will be suitable for this place. So what you have to write? You have to write an excuse about that you sought this job and you are in need for this job, to prove yourself for the employer that you are qualified enough and you have all the certificates they asked for. So in short way, you have to write a letter that make the employer eager to meet you or eager to know you, that you will be suitable in his company in the suitable place. Let's go to the handout. What we have written here in the handout. The successful application letter. Your CV should be combined with by a letter. You know that we are going to study CV inshallah next lecture, but this lecture talks about what CV and job application. But I started with job application because it's important. Before you send your CV, you have to write this letter to show your ability and that you are able to work in this job. So what you have to write in this application form, and these two items from package, the letter here has a number of purposes. Number one, it allows you to sell yourself by pointing out key features of your CV. It gives you an opportunity to include materials that is not in the CV. Yeah, don't repeat the same. For example, in this point, don't repeat the same information in the CV and the same information in the covering letter or application letter. Say something like your skills, like your abilities that is not mentioned in the CV. Especially personal quality that you listed when you make your preparations. It shows a prospective employer that you know how to write a letter. this is very important, that you are a good writer and you have ability to write a letter to your manager, and this is what makes sometimes a good perspective to your manager. There is a proverb in English says first impression is the last. يعني in Arabic الانطباع الأول يدوم إلى الأخير. بقدر ما تترك انطباع ممتاز عند المدير, it leaves that to the last. Okay, here while this may be of decreasing importance in electronic age, many employers still value it highly, both as skill in own right and as a test of your ability to communicate clearly and effectively. This is about what the application letters, successful application letters features. What we should go in it? This is the question. The letter of application should follow the general guidelines for the business letter. It should have an introduction, body, and conclusion. This is what we have to do. Order your letter with introduction, body, conclusion. Number one, what we have to write in the introduction? In the introduction, we have to write, you should detail the job you are applying for and relevant the circumstances that have led to this. For example, an advertisement, recommendation, or agency. يعني from where you heard about this job, من أين سمعت أو كيف تلقيت الخبر عن هذه الوظيفة. How you heard about this job? From an advertisement, or human HR, or a newspaper, or someone recommend you. Do you have do you have someone tell you about it? He works in this company. So you have to mention in details. This is in the introduction. Number two, the body of this letter. You have to mention a lot of things, as I explained before. You have to talk about yourself, about your ability, about why you deserve this job. You have to justify for your employer that you deserve this job. هل أنت تستحق? Are you a merit of this job? هل أنت تستحق أو تستاهل هذه الوظيفة؟ Are you a merit? جدير بالثقة أو جدير بهذه الوظيفة? Are you merit or you deserve this job? هل تستحق هذه الوظيفة? Do you deserve this job? If you deserve, so you have to justify and explain for him that you deserve this job and why you deserve this job. Are you qualified enough? So, or do you have the knowledge about the job, or do you have the knowledge about the area that you are working in, or have you ever before worked in such a job like this job? So you have to explain. You should make use of the list personal qualities or made while preparing, and should re-emphasize the skill you have which make and you particularly suitable for the job. You can also highlight period of employment or other experience that are particularly relevant. It is important not to write much. However, 2 or most 3 short punchy paragraphs are much more effective than 2 sides of rambling prose. يعني don't write a lot of explanation, a lot of details, because you mentioned that in the CV. So you don't have to mention the same information in the CV with the same information in your covering letter or in your job application. So try to be simple and try to write something can market yourself or explain yourself to the employer. How to let the employer imagine when he is reading your letter, imagine you as if that you are in front of him. Try to write it one time, more than one time, and then maybe show it to another one or give it to another one. Let him read your covering letter. If he accepts it, or someone in your family can accept it, so the employer will accept it. Any example, do you understand what I'm explaining? I mean that sometimes you have to show it even to your friend or to someone who has an experience. He will read your application letter. Maybe he will advise you to omit some words, to add some words, is not convinced with some words. Sometimes you have to read it to yourself. Read it once and twice, and then you can discover if there is a mistake. In the conclusion, you should round the letter of leaving the reader with a positive image. يعني تترك صورة أو انطباع جيد. It should sum up bravely the selling points made in the body on the letter. Mention any items including CV you are enclosing and expressing willingness to provide any further information or that the reader may want. For example, what you have to mention in the conclusion, you have to write about for example, promises, like when I say, for example, promises وعود, that you are ready to bring all your certificates and you have original certificates, and if they ask you to bring a guarantee or warranty, you are ready to bring guarantee or warranty, like ضمان أو ضمانة. If they ask you for, or sometimes they ask for to give you to let you work for 3 months as a period of experiment, to know if you are good or bad employer in this position. So you have to express to them that you are patient and you are ready to work for this job till you prove yourself for them. So at last or finally you can say what, how to market yourself, كيف تسوق نفسك for this company, how to market yourself and how to let them accept that you are the suitable one for this position. We have here an example. You can open page 77 in the handout. And read this letter and the rest of the letter in 78 as an example. And you can also at home try to imagine that you apply for a job and prepare your CV and that you are ready to work. So inshallah the last lecture will be about CV. So in the CV, try to imagine that you finished your studying and you are ready to write this covering letter or application letter with your CV. And I hope that when I explain about the CV, after I finish about these two items, application letter and job application and CV together, you can practice this at home and write your application letter with your CV in good way and apply it for any company, and to know if you are able to write such letter and such CV. Thank you very much.